agenda are the minutes. The minutes.
Make the motion to approve the minutes as written.
Do a motion to approve the minutes is written. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item B, accounts. No vote required on accounts. Are there any questions on the accounts?
I have one question. In our minutes, we, of course, approved the purchase, no problem. What was the name of that company, Mark, the camera? I think,
Approved construction, ICM.
ICM.
Yes, sir.
Well, we approved it for $38,000, and if you look in the accounts, we paid $39,000 something. I was just curious about why there was a difference between what the bid that we took, because we took the lowest of 4 bids, it was 38.
I believe we wrote the check for that. It was $38,000.
38,669 is right there.
Yeah.
The song,
I'm looking at
that
one
other
that
piece of
says,
equipment that you bought,
Oh, that was separate. That was a maintenance issue, yeah.
there was another piece of equipment he bought that they use with
From the
the
same company.
sewer rodders from the same company. That
Yeah,
first
that-
part of that says, how you pronounce that, the song,
Song, yeah.
for the sewer rodder is actually a piece of equipment they put on the sewer rodder where they can detect it underneath the ground.
okay,
So
Right.
it was whatever the difference is.
600 and something
Yes,
dollars.
right.
That's why I was confused, is we had one thing.
No, yeah. That had nothing to do with the camera. That was a separate piece of equipment we purchased to locate on the jetter.
And when it was added to it, it made the two numbers.
Yeah,
One was 38
Right.
in the minutes, and then
It was
$600
purchased from
more
the
in
same
the other.
company. Right.
Okay. Just, I wanted to be sure we weren't paying for some kind of shipping charge or something. I assume shipping is figured into the bids.
Yeah, they delivered it for free. Yeah, so the price that you guys awarded is what we paid.
Are there any other questions on the accounts? And next item on the agenda is item C, delegation. Jonathan Harlan here is from Anita's, and Jim come up and address the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Jonathan Harlan. I'm CEO and founder of Neas Internet and Telephone. Neas is a broadband voice and IT services provider. We offer services across the state of Tennessee. Our primary market is West Tennessee, however. We have a number of customers in Chester County and the city of Henderson. Neas is contemplating building several all-fiber to the premises broadband networks in different communities in West Tennessee. Henderson is one of those. Network design that we are considering a gigabit capable network. By gigabit, I mean by the fastest, highest speed broadband network possible in the United States. If we build this network in Henderson, it will be one of two in the state. The only other one's in Chattanooga. It will be the only one in West Tennessee. Such a network has a lot of benefits to the community, both in terms of quality of life and primarily economic development. I think it will put Henderson more on the map than it is already. As part of this network design, we plan to locate 6 small, approximately 4-foot fiber cabinets around the city. These are similar shape and design you see in green telephone cabinets already. I'm asking for the city to help us in this project by granting us easements on 6 city-owned parcels. 10 by 10 parcel, 10 by 10 easement, with enough room for the truck to park by occasionally. The parcels we've designated are all out of the way. We have some flexibility if need be, but by the way, I mean, pull by your water tower, one's by your fire department, a little island over here by the city hall, there's a tree on it. I don't think they're much use to the city, but in any event, we would like your support. The city currently has the easement language and the parcel designations under review. And what I'm asking tonight is that pending legal review and final approval by the mayor, she'll grant us these easements. Thank you. I'll answer any questions like that. I have a map. I also have aerial views of each of these easements. Last year, as well as a photograph of the small cabin.
The only thing that I got is, whether it's easy, will be perpetual. And that's one issue, that if you ever don't want to use those, at least you come back to us and do away with that. It not be perpetual forever lease, because if you ever decide that you're not going to need that spot, some other technology comes along, takes its place, you abandon it, you move your equipment, and I think the lease should revert back to us.
I think that is the wording in the proposed wording.
Okay.
It would revert back to us if y'all do not need it to use.
Absolutely.
The other thing is I know those areas don't look like the street and ever need to be wide. It looks like they're not, but in the thing that I'm looking at, it says that it'll be the city's responsibility to move and relocate if we should ever need to, if we want to do it. Now, if you want to do anything with it, of course, it's your cost. But if the street has to be wide and everything, then it would fall on us to do that. And I've got, if we're granting a lease to a for-profit company to make money, service, then if it has to be moved, regardless of who has to move it, I think it should fall on the company that owns the equipment. Now, that's not more than how it's done, but we're going to grant some leases and easements, not at any cost that I'm looking at. And then we should have some kind of something that we don't have to be any cost to us if we should ever have to move that equipment. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And this is me, Joe, making a suggestion off the cuff here. Could we, I don't know if John would be willing to do this, could we tie that to a certain number of years? That if we have it relocated in the first certain number of years, that maybe we do have to pay the cost, but after that time frame, it would be their cost?
Yeah, I think that.
I'm just throwing out ideas.
I think that'd be satisfactory. I just don't want us to come up here 15 years and have a lot of stuff sitting there. We have to widen the street, and it's gonna be an added cost, and we're putting on somebody that's gonna be sitting in this seat, because I'm not gonna be here. And we've made a decision to get granted easement to a company that's in business to make money, and then we're gonna pay for that equipment, they have access to it all. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good fiduciary request, I understand that. I like Mr. Garland's response. I hope that in selecting these, we have a lot of flexibility right now. If one of these sites you don't like, we can move a block over. And if you anticipate the street being widened in the next number of years, I'd like to know now, and we can go ahead and
But anyway, if we can locate them far enough away where we don't have to worry about that, that'd be fine. You understand what, but some of these I noticed are, in some areas, it's kind of fairly close in there. And that's the only issue that I have.
Mr. Mayor, it's just one thing. Mr. Harmon and I I represent his company to him on occasion in Jackson on some matters. Just want to make the board aware of that. But one thing maybe to keep in mind is from a historical standpoint, you have this situation with an AT&T or a Charter or a similar type of service provider. How do you handle that as it stands right now? Widening road and you have to move a telephone line or fiber optic cable. It would seem like that would be pretty aggressive on how this would be handled. That's a suggestion.
As a general rule, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but most of these phone type heads for AT&T are located on private easements that have been normally purchased. I think they even purchased one from us out of North Church a few years back. So in that case, because it is a private easement on private property, yes, and the street normally gets widened, then it's the responsibility of the person widening the street to relocate that equipment. Of course, this one is a little different. You know, we're donating the easement, so they're not paying for it up front, so it's a little different situation.
I think somebody brought up the years. What years are we talking about, you think that?
Well, my thinking was, we should be able to guarantee him a certain number of years without him having to relocate, or we would cover the cost, my thinking.
How many years?
That would be up to the board. I
What are you
don't
gonna
know.
throw something out if you need to be shut?
Well, you know, I would say, you know, my first service has been 10 years.
But I had that on top of it because, you know, 10 years would be a pretty good stretch out, you know. And that's, that way they know if there's new technology gonna take its place, whatever's gonna happen with it, something's going, because things developing every day. You might have to have it in a big cabin today, and 5 years from now, they'll put in 6 inches tall and 3 inches wide. I don't know about this stuff.
So-
Then, I don't wanna hold it up. I think it's a good thing. I really do. For the slower community, you know, and I don't want to slow it down, and I just want to do the right thing for the folks.
I think 10 years would be just fine.
Okay.
So basically, the first 10 years, if we require him to relocate, it's our cost. After 10 years, if we require him to relocate because of street lighting or whatever, it's gonna be his cost.
Well, another thing, they're gonna have to make sure there's nothing underground, like those places, and they haven't done 811 stuff here or anything on those places.
A few of these sites will have to be slightly adjusted.
Are y'all gonna get together and do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We only got the information this afternoon, Brent went out, and we do have some issues with a couple of them, so we are gonna have to
Okay,
adjust.
I don't want to.
And that includes locating existing utilities.
I just wanted
where we
to,
know.
I had that couple of things, and I just needed, felt like I needed to address it. We would need a motion to give you,
City attorney.
City Attorney, you and City Attorney Jim to proceed with this.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we allow the city recorder, the city attorney, and the mayor to proceed with this easement location and verification, and make any adjustment that may be necessary with the things we've discussed here tonight. Move forward with the request.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, signify by no, motion carries.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you, and I'd like to just add, this tours, this is going to be very unique, and it's going to give Henderson bragging rights. And I mean that over anybody in the state. There's only one city, that's Chattanooga. And the public utility there knows about $500 million. So you ain't gonna know anything, so it's going to be very good. And I will need your help in helping promote this. So as things develop, you'll hear from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the delegation is Bart Hunt. Bart's here. Starting to meet the requirements of the deed.
Yeah, once again, how y'all doing? I called Brent, I want to put another grain bin down there. I want to put this one on an existing pad that I have right after I bought the place. We got a little discrepancy, I got too close to the line, so couldn't build that bin. Since then, I bought property off of Jones, who's down there. And I just want to kind of give you an idea of this year, I'll put one bin up. The next 2 years, I'll put 2 more up in line, eventually join my other bins I've got there. So that's kind of a plan that I've got. But Brett, everything y'all make
It needs to set back requirements now.
He's got 3 bins and closer to the road. Initially, I think he put down a footing for a bin, I guess back in 2008. It was closer to the property line than the height of the bin, so he's acquired property from the neighbors there, and it's similar to what he's done in 2008 and 2012. He's put bins there both times, so this is going on the existing footing that he had done originally for the first addition.
They don't be the first bin.
You say you're gonna put one next year.
I want to put one next year right next to it, and then one next to it next year, and then eventually they'll all join.
Question, does he have to come back if we approve? It meets regular, it meets our setback record. Does he have to come back for each bin, or can we vote on
I
tonight?
think that would be up to the
Well,
board.
we're gonna suggest, one, we just give permission to do all 3, or say you can come back.
Okay.
Barn, they're all the same style and size.
They'll be the size of my narrow bins, they won't be as big as that last one, but they'll be the smaller side.
The last two.
The last is the first one, that's right.
I think that I'll make the motion to go ahead and let you build your bid. Year after, Brent's still running forward with it, or you just come back in and show what you know, Rick. And you got permission to go ahead with all three of them.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second, any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, signify by no.
They say you
Thank
have
you.
to come back up here.
Thank you.
Next item is to open the public hearing. Consider the action on proposed 2014-2015 city budget tax rate. The rate will remain the same at $1.22 per 100 of assessed value. At this time, I'll open the public hearing. Does anybody want to speak on the city budget? Anybody in the audience would like to speak on the city budget? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and we'll consider the ordinance on the final reading. Jim?
Nothing changed.
Nothing has changed since the last reading. The notice was run in the Church County Independent. It's probably a quarter-plus page ad, as required by state law, and there's certain format, which is a little different than most of every time you see it otherwise. So nothing has changed, and we're ready for final passage.
I move the ordinance as presented and voted on in last minute.
Have a motion to approve the ordinance on the final reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion on the ordinance? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Phelps? Yes. Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Nance?
Yes.
All voted in favor, one absent.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, item E, consider passing the operation and the capital project budget for the utility department. Jim, Mark, which one y'all want?
Sure, how to handle this. Assume that we presented the budget and we're recommending that you,
Were there any changes from the last time we had a budget?
This is identical to what y'all saw at the last budget meeting. It does not include any rate increases. And the capital budget is identical to what Mark presented at the last meeting with y'all, including the equipment. And I mean, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. As you know, the budgets are pretty tight as far as there's no excess funds really to speak of. So it will be a tight year. We'll just see where we are about midway through the year and then at the end of the year.
I move to approve the city utility capital expenditure budget.
Operation two.
Operation
Operation capital. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Have a second. Is there any discussion on the operation capital budget? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, signify by no. Motion carries. Next item is item F, discuss and consider passage of resolution calling for the city referendum on November ballot to continue the levy of the half-cent local sales tax within the city. Said funds are currently being used to retire the debt on the Chester County High School building. After the debt is retired on the high school, and if said referendum is passed, one half the funds generated will be given to the county school system. The city's portion of the tax will be used to reduce city property tax by 12%. As y'all know, we've kind of talked about this off and on for the last couple of years when the school tax about this half cent. I remember in 95, in 95 when they passed the half cent to build the high school. The county commission sunsetted it. In other words is, they put in that when the half cent paid the school off, the half cent went away, and by doing that, to keep the half cent would have to go back to referendum. We were kind of wanting to address this later on, but what happened was, if we move tonight to do this, it sets a kind of clock. The county has 40 days from the time we carried over and give the information to the election commission. They have 40 days to decide if they want to put it on their ballot. If the county chooses to put it on their ballot, And that would go into November. It kind of makes ours move for the time being. We would only, the November ballot would only have it countywide. If it failed, and if it passes, we're going from there. But if it failed, then the city wouldn't have to do anything, but it would revert back to the city referendum, which will be a special call election later on, probably the next year, for us to be able to put it back on the ballot. My reasoning, the reasoning I feel that law is there is, listen, in this one, we're saying we're gonna give half to the school no matter what. If it passes in the city, we're gonna give half the money to the school system. In other towns and jurisdictions, they put this on the city ballot, they get to keep all of it, unless you earmark it like we're doing. What this does is gives the county the opportunity to put it on the ballot, so the school system can give its half of it if it passes. And so what we're doing here is we're going ahead and giving the school its half, so the county can either choose to put it on the ballot or choose not to put it on the ballot. The school system still get half the half cent if y'all choose to do that. But I'll answer any other questions on it. Like I say, when I went over there and started doing it, I didn't realize I ended up talking to people at the state election office to get this information. But that's kind of where we're at right now. So what I say is the county commission would have the opportunity, if they choose to put it on their ballot. They have to do it within 40 days after we put it over the election.
So, Mayor, I understand what you're saying. We can pass it. If we put it on the ballot and it passes, it just kind of sits there right now.
Yes, sir.
And then if the county decides in 40 days that they want to put it on the November general election ballot, and it fails there, that we got to come back and call a special election next year.
Correct.
And put it back on there and have a revote in the city.
Correct.
Even though we've already passed it once in the city.
If we pass, no, we don't ever get to vote on it. If the county chooses to put it on its ballot, we won't have elections.
It would be a countywide.
But we don't have to come, no, we do not have to come back and do this. Once we do
I
this.
got you.
Okay, once it fails, if it failed in the county, then the next special election is called, and we already passed our resolution.
We've got to vote.
Oh, the only thing it really does, the county has the option to freeze our resolution, put their own on the ballot themselves for the entire county.
And we're going to reduce to the property owners 12% of their property taxes.
Correct.
In lieu of this quarter, this half cent.
All right. How it kind of sets up is, if you spend $10,000 in retail sales in the city of Henderson, if you spend, during the year, you spend $10,000 in retail sales, that half cent costs you $50. If you pay if your city property, if you can, so we did away with that half cent, that would be your reduction. If the half cent stays, and let's say your city property tax is $500, your reduction would be $60. So that's kind of how it is. And the deal is, the city residents are going to get a reduction in their taxes. They'll have a choice whether they want the reduction in sales tax or they want the reduction in property tax. The city residents will have that opportunity. That's what we're trying to do. They have that opportunity. Like I say, we're trying, to be honest with you, we're trying to really to give the property taxpayer a break, and also the business taxpayer, who's assessed at 40% of their values on their business. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do.
This has potential of let the school system be setting aside some money every year so when they come up with a new project, they'll have the money sitting there.
Here's something else too that's kind of also kept. Johnny's the only one on the board, and they had this battle back in the mid-90s. But the school system in the 74 tax that built the junior high, the city got the half cent back in the 90s. On this project to build a high school, the school's half of the 74 went on the new school. So no matter what we do, the school system will get the 74 back, which will be about $180,000 a year. If we pass this and the city passes this, they also get another 180. And I mean, now that y'all were on the board and all this happened too, something else too in the school deal too, is if you remember, it was 200, the deal was the school put in the 74 was put in, they put in all of the 95 half cent, plus the BEP money was $220-something thousand.
270,000.
$270,000. And that was what was gonna pay this high school off. They went on for several years and realized, they came back, the school system came back and said they wanted to stop paying the $270 and reduce it to $50,000 a year. And we allowed, and the county commission allowed it, but also the city allowed, we allowed it to the city. Also, so what they had paid for several years, so there was considerably, probably well over $1 million of the BEP money was put into that to pay the high school. When my very first meeting as the mayor, go figure, they came to us and said, hey, listen, this is, the half cent's gonna pay this whole school off. We would like us, let us take all, the school would like to take all the BEP money out back to school and put it in the school capital outlay. And remember, they wanted to put it in capital outlay. And we allowed that. So the school system got back $1 million and something back and got back. So really, they got all of it back. So really and truly, if you remember, Johnny, when y'all set it up, the school system was going to have to pay that $275,000 a year in BEP money. They didn't have to pay any of that the whole length of this note. It all got to go back to the school system. So the half-cent sales tax paid for the whole entire high school plus the 74 too. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. So really and realistically, if somebody comes up and I've heard this statement made, this is the only way we can build a high school, I respectfully disagree with that. Because the one, they're going to have the 74 sitting out there. Plus they're going to have this half cent, that's $360,000. Plus, when they thought in the 90s they're going to have to put in the BEP money and put in $275,000 BEP money, which they never had to use. So the money is there if they choose to put it in the capital outlay and roll it over.
It just maybe depends on how they manage the money.
It depends how they want to do it.
Put it in a
But
construction.
I respectfully disagree with the notion that the only time we can build a high school is on the local sales tax that the city has to pay its part of. I kind of disagree with that sometimes. I agree. Sometimes we'll do it. To be honest with you, the city has done it in '74. They gave up their share in '74. They gave up their share in '81 or '82 on a quarter cent then, wasn't it? Quarter cent to do remodeling school, and they also gave it up in '95. So the city is giving up its share on two schools that got built. So I mean, that's the reason I'm thinking now is a good time to just go back and try to give that reduction to the property tax.
I think that's a good idea to do it this way. Another thing too, we've always stepped forward when we've had an issue with the schools, and I think in the future, if something to go, we'll step forward. But I think this is the right thing right now. Do you need a motion to pass this resolution?
Yes.
I move that we pass the resolution number 2014, question, whatever it's going to
I think it's gonna be 7, I believe. I have to look up that.
All right, I move that we pass this resolution to reduce to move forward with the, take the half-cent sales tax back and split it with the schools.
I have a motion, I have a second by Alderman Barnes. Is there any further discussion on the resolution?
When is it likely for the school?
Okay, good question. The school system has, from my understanding, has two notes. It has a major note, the big note, which will be paid off probably in the spring of 2015. There's a smaller note that goes on until supposedly 2016, but the reason that will not happen, goes live to 2016. My feeling is the document that the county commission passed in '95 says when there's enough money there to retire the debt, the debt will be retired. So the biggest note's going to be paid off probably by March. And then you got a smaller note that goes, so in other words, that smaller note's going to be paid off only a few months after that.
We should have enough funds.
You have enough funds to retire that debt because the
Entire balance of the 20.
the entire balance of what we're paying will go to the smaller and pay it off in a few months. And so I feel that the note will be paid off sometime probably the fall or end of 2015. And so what we're looking at is the possibility of doing this in the 2015-2016 budget. If it passes and everything passes, we'll try to do that then if the high school debt is retired. Let's be clear, we cannot do anything to the high school debt is retired.
It's likely, they'll probably do budgeting in spring of 16.
We would,
We know it for sure.
by the time we budget next year's budget, set next year's budget, we'll know, and say if it passes in November, when we sit down and do the 215, 216 budget, we will know exactly when this thing's going to retire, so we'll have that information then. Is there any other further discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Alderman Phelps,
Yes.
Alderman Ferris,
Yes.
Alderman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Barnes,
Yes.
Alderman Mays.
Yes.
All voted in favor, one absent.
Okay, we'll get with y'all, and then I'll say we'll carry the resolution over to the election commission, and we'll keep you informed on the status of it, what the county status is. All right, next item on the agenda is consider bids on materials to be used by the Public Works Department during the 2014-2015 budget year. Jim,
There's a report in your board packet concerning the low bids on all the items. I believe we did have a high bid on red screen church gravel. That being Rocky Point Quarry and also Shaw Concrete here local. Normally it's been the history, if we have a high bid, we'll award it to the local bidder. If y'all will do that again. We only have one bidder on poly colors, plastic colors. We received no bid on metal colors, which is unusual. So when we do buy a large quantity of metal colors, we'll have to get quotes, and depending on the amount, we may take bids. But we'll answer any questions you might have. Carter, do you recommend all the low bidders?
I'll make a motion to accept all the low bids, including the Shaw Concrete, the local bidder for gravel.
Second.
have a motion to approve the low bids, and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by nay. Okay. Other business, if y'all know, we talked about on occasions on security cameras at the maintenance shop and also at the park. We had a company come and look and just give us a ballpark figure of what that's gonna be. And we're still working with them on it, but it looks like this downtown park. And if you remember, we talked about these surveillance cameras would be through the internet so that the dispatch can monitor those cameras, can watch those cameras. And if you can too, we could, you can go onto the site yourself and see what's going on at the city, at the parks, or at the maintenance shop. We looked at the city park was gonna run, not city park, the downtown park was going right now running between 5,500 and 6,000. We're gonna sit down with them, talk to them some more, and then the maintenance, we're right now looking between about 9 and 10. There's just, right now, there's just no way we can talk about downtown park, the city park. I bought paper lots, I saw that, it's about $100,000. I bought paper lots, I saw that. It would be something that we probably could look at doing through the park grant or something like that, and see if we can get the cost. I think a lot of it, we talked, looking at stuff, a lot of stuff, we can in kind, because a lot of it is running line, trenching line in, boring line, so things like that, we probably, when we get down to, let's say we apply for a park grant, a lot of that we can do ourselves, and so that's gonna be a year or so down the road, a couple years down the road. But, I would like to come back later on with y'all on these quotes, that these two, the one that's under 9 at the maintenance shop, I think that's important. We've always had problems that, getting stolen at the maintenance shop this way. And it's also going to be digitally, it's going to be tagged. So in other words, we'll have tags full and things like that on later days. But another thing is, like I say, you're sitting at your house, if you decide what's going on in the maintenance shop, you can go on at night, go on the internet, pull it up, look at it yourself and see what's going on. And I think that would be a good thing, especially to try to deter stuff getting stolen out there at night. And then, like I say, the downtown park is for just safety reasons, stuff like that. But I'll bring those a little bit of figures back to y'all at another meeting.
Only thing I have is we have paved, Kitchen Drive, Jackson Creek Road, and 7th Street between White and Gorman. We're in the process of doing some more paving. I talked to the paving man last week. We're in the process of doing some more.
Really?
Yeah.
Safety Partners grant, it's for employee safety. The total amount that you spend is $4,000, and they'll send you back $2,000. We've decided this year again to apply for, traffic cones, safety barricades, and also some safety vests for public works and utilities. And it's a fairly simple application, it's things we need anyway. If y'all are willing to pass a resolution, basically just says, y'all are appropriating the local funds to participate in the Safety Partners grant team. I'm sorry, I don't have a copy for everybody. I forgot to print them on.
We do this every year.
I move we participate in the safety department.
We're gonna spend the money anyway, we might as well get somebody else to help us.
Have a motion to approve the resolution, have a second by? Second. Second by Alderman Phelps. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
All voted in favor, one absent.
Anything else, Jim? Gary?
No, sir.
No, sir. Well, you like your bow tie tonight?
Thank you.
Always tell a gentleman, you wear a bow tie.
I was called Uncle Talbot today.
Chief? How you feeling?
If you have to have every word, you make sure you know about that.
Michael?
Just department heads, I'm let you guys know I'm proud of you. I think you're doing a good job, and I'm proud to be part of this board too. So appreciate working with people serious.
Let's say, and one question, we discussed talking about Second Street paving, going all the way across, the cul-de-sac coming back. What kind of decisions made on that, we're gonna have, I think we talked about that at one time, didn't we?
I think we talked about Second Street extended, I think.
Just Second Street
Extended down there, it's pretty broken up at the end there.
But I didn't know if we would have to try to get that or not. No? You got this, that, okay, all right, that just, I just thought I mentioned that, I didn't know what would be decided. I know we don't have a lot of money to do stuff with, we have to be very picky, so, I understand. So,
Fire department did get approved on a $3,000 grant for buying, they consider wildland firefighter equipment, which we have a brush truck to do grass fire to this, so we'll be buying equipment with it for $3,000.
That makes me think of something we were calling last time about tearing down the house, so next to the fire station, where was it?
Well, when we had to get quotes, we kind of changed us a little bit on quotes. Guy came back, and I think the quote, one of the quotes had to be, we're not gonna be able to take a tree down. That's right, tree, we're not gonna lower all the quotes down a little bit. Same guy got the quote, and he is running tied up with some stuff, but he can get it this month. He said this month, he's got other provisions, but you know, this guy would be the guy, I think he's tore down more stuff in Jefferson County. You know, but he's gonna get to it this month. You notice where, if you look at the intersection, you'll see the platform at the intersection of 100 bypass. We got the poles sitting out there at the maintenance shops, and hopefully this month, maybe.
I was informed yesterday by email that they sent the wrong light fixtures to the contractor, so they're having to reorder the light fixtures, I don't know the detail, so there's now the fixtures before they now the poles, so that's the holdup of the light poles that already have, so they're ready to set poles, soon as the light fixtures come in, I'll try to firm up the date.
And then also on the park project, we came through last week, they did a punch list. There was 2 places that we felt that was gonna hold water, and they're gonna do some piping in those. And then there's a place that they felt was about it, even where the blacktop comes in one of the areas, they're tearing up our some blacktop, to redo the blacktop in the area. And then the fountain, the pond is not done right there. Supposedly the company makes it, to show them what they need to do it right. So that's kind of where we're at right there on the park project. On the, I don't know if I told y'all, but on the downtown project. Y'all know, you saw where the TDOT sent us a letter out stating that the federal highway money that Congress hadn't passed, has not passed the highway money. Some things wasn't done, that the projects would be put either on, the money would be brought back, taken back, or put on delay. And the downtown and they even said that if you're in the middle of acquisition, roadway acquisition, things like that, that project can be pulled. So we're sitting here in kind of limbo now. We're still supposed to go on and do what we're supposed to do. We're getting everything done. We've got our draft easements on all three properties were donated to us. So we didn't have to do that. Now we're just getting the final ones done to put into the clerk's office, into the register of deeds office. But all three, Clayton Bank, Larry McKenzie, and Richard Henderson all donated their easements to us, so we didn't pay for those, so we're doing sidewalks. And so we're still going along doing what we're supposed to do until we hear back from TDOT. That's all I've got.
Maybe one thing we need to do, is I had a couple people ask me about the project. They think the state is.
The highway project.
We need to get some PR out or something, let people know the city is doing that.
Yeah, because if you remember right, that project was our SDP money. It's what, 200 or 300, how much, 200 and?
Total project?
The SDP money was what?
280 something thousand.
And then about 52 or so was our money, it's city money. And so our match of it, so the project, well, it was over $300,000 project.
Right, $400,000.
And so we're like I say, it's a city project. And I think.
A lot of people think the state's doing that or something.
And we're.
And I'm telling everybody, let it go right quick, the state don't like those things, the city's like it.
And also, I think you noticed, we've already put one light up in the curve down there on the west, on the west, on the east main, where the curve is so dark, and when Southwest wouldn't have put their poles up to go with that, we would have put a light up there trying to make that curve a little brighter. That thing was, if you remember, it's pitch dark in the curve going through the bypass. So hopefully we, these projects, but like when you're dealing with state and federal money, it's just a slow process. Anybody else have anything they like to add? Anybody in the audience like to address us before we leave? See, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So